Coming to you from Orion Township, this is Oakland Leadership, and I'm Penny Schultz. Thanks for joining us today as we meet with Representative Brad Jacobsen, who has proudly served North Oakland County for years. Representative Jacobsen has held leadership positions in state, county, and local government and fosters a commitment to serve our community with excellence, bringing a wealth of experience that benefit everyone. I'm confident you will enjoy this edition of Oakland Leadership. Thank you, sir, for being here today.
Hey, if I get a update like that all the time, I'll come back every week. That's very kind, thank you.
Yes, I was able to see you at the Veterans celebration, the memorial, on last Wednesday on the 11th, so I was glad that you were able to get in the studio so quick.
Well, it was good. We got done in Lansing, and I jumped in the car, drove down here, and very happy I was able to attend the ceremony. It was nice having it here instead of at the memorial. The memorial on M24 right near our store is always an emotional thing with all the pavers and such, but you know, I worry because being November, sometimes that weather is real shaky, and I've stood there with the fellas in the rain and the sleet before, so it was nice to have it here at the Orion Center.
It's also very important to have your support for our veterans.
Well, thank you. It's certainly that you know, attending those few ceremonies and such is the least we can do, because they really worked very hard while they were in the service, and particularly the gentlemen who were around Orion that work on the memorial and such, Bob and the crew there. They're wonderful, wonderful guys.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah, very nice. So
today you're here, and generally you would have hours available for the public to meet with you. Can you share a bit about when that can take place? Well,
sure. I'm available most any time. I mean, we're in Lansing usually Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, but we tend to have office hours either on Fridays or Saturdays. We post them on our website about once a month, but I'm always available. My phone number, we're going to, I guess, run it on the screen later, and my contact information. I'm always willing to either return a phone call or meet with somebody, you know, at one of the local coffee shops or whatever as they be if they can't make my regular office hours.
I like that, and I know that's true because I've reached out to you on numerous occasions, and you're always available. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. That's you know, that's part of the public service. That's, you know, if you're going to get elected and run away and hide, that's not the right way to do it.
Right.
So you got to have be accessible to folks, hear their concerns. I was out with a gentleman called me about 10 days ago, went to visit his house. He lives over in Oakland Township, a inventor, retired Chrysler gentleman, an inventor, and he's working on a project. I went over to his home, looked at the project, and it falls into a few gaps in the legislation. So we're looking at changing some statutes to try to help him promote and be able to sell and market his product.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, it's very exciting, very innovative, different idea. So,
well, I'm very glad you're available to everyone. And you grew up in this community.
Well, I did. I grew up in Oxford, K through 12 Oxford schools, and but with, you know, our family business, Jacobsen's Flowers, here on M24 in Lake Orion. We've just celebrated our 90th anniversary.
Incredible.
1920, great-grandpa bought a rundown greenhouse that was there. There's actually been a greenhouse on that property since the 1890s. So, you know, grew up in the Orion, Oxford area, and served a lot of, handed out a lot of flowers and sold a lot of petunias and hanging baskets over the year, and it's a wonderful community.
Everybody knows Jacobsen's Flowers and loves them.
Well, thank you. Grandpa always used to say, if you don't, you know, when we do make a mistake, and everybody makes a mistake, something doesn't work out right, and people would call up, you know, I always thank them. Grandpa's line was, you don't know what's broke, you can't fix it.
Right.
So
call.
Like, that's it, you know, but.
Your father used to send his personal property statement to the township. It was a required filing that he had to do annually, and he would have that tucked right in poinsettia at Christmas time because that's when they're due.
Yeah. Never helped him get any reduction on his fee.
No, but it was always just a nice way that he reached out to the community. And that's how your family is. They all reach out to the community in different ways. Can you tell us some of the things that you're involved with locally?
Sure. Well, before I went to Lansing, I had more daytime availability, so I was real active in the Rotary clubs, which I've had to let that slip some. But we do a variety of different things. We got the lighted parade coming up. I attend a lot of their activities and the fireworks programs in the summer to help raise money for those. I've emceed the dragon boat races a couple of times. Served on the village DDA for quite a long time. I think about maybe 14 years in total. I had one long stint and then I was off for a little while and came back. I chaired that for quite a while. So there's all kinds of things. Blessings in the Backpack is one of my new passions.
I love it.
My wife Terry is a speech therapist at Blanche Sims School, and I became familiar with it through Blanche Sims' activity. But there's about 400 elementary children who may not have food at home over the weekends. So with donations, either sponsorships, donations, there's backpacks, go home with the kids on Friday afternoon, and they have enough for 6 or 8 meals, something like that in there, so that there's confidence that they'll have a good, nourishing meal at home over the weekend.
I like that the whole community is rallying around these kids.
Yeah, we were very fortunate. I was able to get a sizable donation from AT&T this year.
Marvelous.
From their charity employee wing to help fund part of the system there. And
all of their funding comes from people and from charities like that or agencies who want to contribute.
Quite often when I'm at the school, there will be bags of food that some of the other students who are more fortunate have brought in. So there'll be bags there that sort of accumulate over the week. And at the end of the week, it all goes out in other backpacks.
Wow, that's very touching.
Yeah,
it's
a good,
like that.
Very nice program.
Yes. Now, I heard that Santa was coming to town soon. Do you know anything about that?
Well, there's supposed to be cookies with Santa at the Lake Orion Library on Saturday the 5th. I believe it starts at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And I hear he's going to be there to see all the little boys and girls. And if the parents want to contact Santa and make sure that those kids have been good, Santa will take note of that.
I hope the people come and bring their kids.
I'm sure it'll be fun. Santa has a great time doing that kind of thing, visiting in the community.
And the kids have a great time meeting with Santa, too.
I certainly hope so.
I like that.
I certainly hope so.
Now, we know that you've held many positions. Can you talk a little bit about some of those that bring that experience to the position as State House Rep?
Sure. Well, let me go back a little bit. When I went to Michigan State out of high school, I went into a pre-law program. It's James Madison College. It's a division of Michigan State. And was thinking about either being a history teacher or a lawyer. Got done with that and didn't really want to do either one necessarily. Went back to work at the family business. But right away I got involved in local activities. And I graduated from college in '79, and I think in '81 or '82 I was elected township trustee in Oxford. Spent 16 years as township trustee, and that was really a very informative and a good learning base for anybody who wants to follow through and continue in public service. We dealt with everything from chloriding, brining roads. As township clerk, that all the different activities you do. I chaired the Water and Sewer Committee for a number of years, which really has paid off when I left the township and then became Oakland County Commissioner.
Yes.
Took a lot of those experiences with me. So when we had a committee meeting, I was on general government, and I sat on Building and Grounds Committee. So when we had a discussion about water lines, sewer lines, road commission activities, those township experiences roll right over to the county level. And then after 4 years as county commissioner, moved on when Senator Marlowe was term limited out of the House. I was fortunate enough to, thanks to all the voters out there,
yes.
I was fortunate enough to be elected state representative. and you just sort of build on your one experience upon the next. And the Oakland County Commissioner, Oakland County government is a great learning place. We are so fortunate in Oakland County with the leadership team that we have in Pontiac. Shortly after I got to Lansing, I was at a meeting, and one of my other representatives came up and he sort of grabbed me by the arm and he said, you know, we're getting awful damn tired of hearing about Oakland County all the time.
We love Oakland County.
And I said, well, you should pay attention because we're doing it the right way.
Right,
You know,
right.
3-year rolling budget, almost always have a surplus.
Balanced.
You know, we do a great job here.
Yes.
I
And
haven't.
our population is growing. People want to be here.
Oh, very much so. I didn't gain too many friends at Michigan Economic Development Corporation when I made some comments about it's about time they did some of the things Oakland County was doing. And
That's sound advice.
well, it is, but it didn't go over very well.
Well, they'll catch up.
So all of these things sort of build together, and you know, it's a marvelous opportunity for public service. No matter what level you're at, you learn. You get invited to all kinds of different seminars and meetings, and you know, the learning experience is tremendous. And at the state representative level, I sit on the Energy Committee. I sit on Transportation. I was on Education Committee for a while. I've been down towards some of the Detroit schools. I got the opportunity to go on a 780-foot ore freighter that was in for dry dock for repairs.
That's exciting.
That was really interesting. We went everywhere from down in the very bottom bilge tank areas that are only opened up once every couple of years for cleaning and inspection, all the way to the bridge where the captain's got all of his electronic equipment. Went to a wind turbine, been to a nuclear power plant, went up to Bay City a couple of years ago. My wife went with me for this one, and we went up and we toured the Big Chief sugar factory, where they take that nasty brown sugar beet and turn it into snow white sugar.
That's sweet.
Yes, that's sweet. Listen to this. It was fascinating.
Yes.
It really was. And my staff at the time said, you really want to go do this?
Absolutely.
Oh, it was fascinating.
I follow when I'm up north visiting my parents, I follow the sugar beet trucks. And so it's kind of nice to be able to see how that all functions.
You know, when Oxford used to be the gravel capital of the world, and we used to have piles of gravel and sand you could see from M24, sometimes sugar beets are stacked up like that along certain areas around Bay City and Seaboing.
I'm glad you're taking these opportunities to reach out to our businesses. I mean, it started with DDA when you were very involved with local business, and it's important that we support each other.
Well,
there's some unique experiences.
You know, it is. And we're very fortunate here in Orion Township. We've got a very active Chamber of Commerce. The DDA is very active. The Township Board seems quite innovative most times and willing to work with the business community and see Orion, you know, sort of grow and develop. When I was asked initially why I got involved with government, it was because I wanted to see Oxford and Lake Orion sort of grow up, develop as an area that the kids are going to want to stay.
Yes.
And I want my family to stay here. Unfortunately, I've got one daughter who moved to North Carolina for a job, just got married down there, and she's making her home in North Carolina right now. But you know, to see steady, even, balanced growth and development, and I think Orion has been doing a great job with that.
Thank you very much. The viewers might not know this, but you actually have one of the responsibilities of swearing in, administering the oath of office to a new board. Can you talk about that?
Well, that was a very nice experience. Several times now, I've been asked to come in and swear in new members on the township board or village councils and such. It's a really neat opportunity, and I think it's a good reflection of how important I think those local level officials are. It was interesting to me when I was at the township board level back in the 80s, 90s, up to about 2000. I would see people in the grocery store and all over the place, and maybe it was partially because my kids were still in school and such, but I was approached much more by people on the street to say, hey, what's going on about, you know, on this lot? What's getting developed over here? I read this in the paper, what about it? At the county level, less people contact me. And even at the state representative level, less people contact me. I don't know if it's sometimes they think, well, he's too busy, whatever. But I really enjoy chatting with people in the community and showing my appreciation for what they're doing here. You know, we've got new businesses open. We've got a couple of ribbon cuttings, one this afternoon here in Orion that I'm going to attend for Motor City Granite in downtown Lake Orion, and there's one in Oxford for the Legacy Center this afternoon.
That's pretty exciting. That's downtown in the village of Lake Orion, the Legacy Center, and we're pretty excited about that.
Well, that's a different version of the...
There's two?
Well, there's the Legacy Center in Oxford is the old Sea Ray boat plant.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
For those who've been around for a long time. And it's going to be turned into a sports facility. They're going to have boxing and yoga, and some things are already in there, dance. They're going to have swim classes in there.
It's a good thing you told me that, because I thought it was the one right downtown.
Well, that's Legacy. One's Legacy Group, I think, and one's Legacy Center.
Excellent.
Something.
It's exciting, and the legacy piece is still there. The people that are developing this, they've been a part of this community, and they want to give back.
Yep. You know, Christian Mills and Kelly McDonald, they've been around Orion. They're both, I believe, Orion graduates.
Yes, I worked with Kelly in the Big Boy when she was 16 years old.
Is that
right?
right?
It's wonderful to see her growing and be such an excellent entrepreneur.
Well, there's all kinds of great things happening around Orion and Oxford, and it's and it surprises me how few people take the local paper. You know, I know more and more people see things, get their news and information from TV or from radio or on the internet, you know, direct. But I'm still, you know, I get the Oakland Press, I get the Free Press, I get the Orion Review, the Oxford Leader, the Citizen out of Ortonville, get that paper. It's nice to have those papers in my hands so I can take a look at them, see what's going on, maybe what events I'm not aware of, and attend those. You can get, you know, a Sherman publication has theirs online, so you can go on and see those. But I still like, I'm still old school enough, I like to have a newspaper.
I like a newspaper and a cup of coffee.
Not
That's a
bad
nice way
to
to just find out what's going on.
It is. It is.
So you said that you serve on the Transportation Committee.
Yes.
Can you give us an update on some of the news that's taken place there?
Well, we just had the road funding proposals just passed through and were signed by the governor. I think he signed it last week, 10 days ago now. There's pros and cons to what the proposal that's out there. It raises about $1.2 billion when fully implemented, which will be about 5 years, which is one of the pieces of criticism we've received. First, we're criticized because we don't take any action. Then we're criticized because we take action that somebody doesn't like. Then we're criticized because it doesn't raise enough money soon enough. So you can never make everybody happy. That's
right.
One of the things you always learn.
But you do the next right thing.
Well, you do the best you can with what we have. So it's going to be implemented over a number of years. There were actually projects last year in the state of Michigan weren't built because they couldn't get contractors to do them.
Incredible.
So there's, you know, we had a big surge. The economy's been better. You know, we've in the legislature over the last 5 years, we put about $1.5 billion in out of general fund money. This year's budget, the 15-16 budget we just started now in October, there's $400 million of general fund money. Next year it goes up to $450, and then it escalates up over a couple years. So sure, you can't make everybody happy. At office hours I had this spring, I had a gentleman complaining about road work on I-75, and it took him an extra 45 minutes to get to his cottage.
Oh dear.
So
we need that.
You can't make everybody happy, but
right.
Overall, I think it's a good plan, a balanced plan. It's not, doesn't have everything I'd like in it, but that's sort of the horse trading that goes on. You work a little, you get what you want, what you think you can use, and you sort of horse trade back and forth until you come up with something that everybody agrees with that goes in the general direction that what your needs are.
And it's a reasonable plan, and it can be implemented, and we'll see success in that.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Key thing probably overall is the desire that the hopes that the state economy keeps going on our gradual increase in improvements we're on, if we go into another economic slowdown like we've been over the last 8-10 years, we've come out of it now, that could slow down the implementation of the roads. But still, they're going to be better.
You know, you said something very interesting, that there were projects scheduled, but contractors were not available. And I'm surprised by that, and I hope that that changes as we're moving forward. Is it because they were elsewhere working?
Well, that's part of the problem is, during the economic slowdowns we had, we know, thousands and thousands of people moved out of the state of Michigan.
Please forgive me for that. I did not turn my phone off.
So thousands of people in all different kinds of lines of work moved out of state. A lot of them were contractors. Now, whether it be home builders or road builders, people moved out. And without a source of regular funding, they're not going to move their equipment back into Michigan. So now that we've got a road package that's set up, people are going to start moving their equipment back into Michigan.
Good.
One of the concerns that was voiced, didn't make much press, but was concern in Lansing is if we dumped a whole lot of money into a project really quick, there's an inflation factor that goes in. If I'm bidding to get my job done and you're bidding to get your job done, the contractor in between could say, well, he could boop his price up a little bit, and maybe you're willing to pay more. So there's a price inflation goes on if there's too many projects and there isn't a balance. So there was definitely a concern about that.
Well, I'm thankful for the legislators taking that decision and getting it passed, and I'm glad to see it being implemented. It's going to benefit the whole state of Michigan.
Well, that it is, and a lot of the money, the money's in the gas taxes and such, go into what's called Public Act 51, and it sort of filters it out, so the monies go to different departments. Some goes to mass transit, some goes to maybe Department of Natural Resources for road improvements for trails, or maybe at boat launches and such. Because you got to remember, some of the gas money is from recreational vehicles too, so they get a share of it. One of the things that's in this legislation is a portion of the money goes what we refer to as the bottom three buckets. Instead of going through the whole formula, part of it goes around and comes down at the bottom and goes to counties, cities, and local governments.
That's us.
Yep.
Thank you.
So we're going to get some of that money is going to come more directly without the little siphon offs in the percentages that go to buses or other activities.
I'm glad to see that. Thank you for giving us an update on that. That's
Sure.
important legislation. And you also mentioned being on the Energy Committee. Energy efficiency is one of my exciting opportunities to be involved in. Can you tell us how the state is taking some of those initiatives that benefit the people?
Oh, sure. Right now we're in the middle of a major energy rewrite. If you've been watching, I don't know how you could avoid some of the ads on TV or on the radio, or some different mailers that may have showed up in your mailbox about energy and about some plants closing and such. So we're in the midst of a major rewrite. Part of it's passed out of the House committee now to the House floor, but we are going to take and try to. Energy efficiency is a big issue for me also. When I was at the county, I worked at the Oakland County, Oakland Livingston Human Services.
Yes.
And one of the programs that we helped administer there was for energy efficiency for low-income folks, for seniors, to help them winterize, put in windows, storm doors, any of those kind of things to help improve their energy efficiency at their homes. You really get a very good return on the investment there. It's easier to save energy than to make energy.
It is.
So that's one of the major points I'm looking at, is to try to encourage and maintain as many of those energy efficiency programs. We have programs having to do with the renewables, the wind turbines, solar, such. The companies, the main providers, DT and Consumers Energy, have met the 10% cap. I don't think we need to renew that or extend the cap, because it's gotten to the point where turbines are about a break even right now.
Okay.
So those are good. Solar's getting closer. There's more solar's being built. It's getting more economical. So we've got all kinds of different things. So if you see those ads on TV, those talk about closing plants. That's about 2 out of probably 60 issues on energy policy right now. And it's,
So look at the whole picture.
yeah, it's a very broad and confusing at time issue.
Well, I am very thankful that you're on 2 major committees, so you can give us an update, and that affects all of us, energy and transportation.
That's it.
Thank you so much for being here today. I know our audience has heard some really great things, and we're hopeful for some excellent things to happen for our state of Michigan and our community. And I will see you tomorrow at the Chamber of Commerce breakfast.
That's true. I'm going to be the guinea pig there. You, as speaker, you may hear some of the same things again.
It'll be excellent in
All
any
right.
way.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Penny. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
To learn more about Representative Jacobsen, please email Brad Jacobsen at house.mi.gov. From all of us at Oakland Leadership and Orion Neighborhood Television, we thank you for joining us.